Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a few weeks since I've posted a video, well, more than a few weeks, but I've had a lot of life-changing transitions and stuff like that have happened recently. So I'm gonna briefly talk about that, and then today's episode is gonna focus on my bucket list, how I started it, how I've achieved everything I wanted to do, and to help people kind of grow their own. If they are inspired and would like to start one, this episode is for you. So yeah, please stick around. All right, so welcome back to my channel. Last week I did a lot of ums and likes about San Diego, and so this week I'm gonna talk about something that I feel like I probably more naturally talk about is about my bucket list. But before I get into that, I'm gonna quickly explain what has recently transpired. So I've actually moved back to Toronto. I was living in Whistler, BC, and just a lot of changes happened in my life recently, and it just did not serve or purpose me any longer to live in Whistler. So I made the decision to leave, and I went on a little mini vacation before I came back. Thank God, because like life is so crazy now since I've come back with COVID. So anyways, that's what I'm doing now. I'm currently living with my sister. This is her space, and I'm just living with her for now and then moving again. I am going back to school in September, which I am so excited about. That I just really needed to do that for me, and that was really important for me to finish. So I am doing that now, and after that I have plans for the next coming September, but I'm gonna wait to see when I get there, and I'll let you guys know a little bit later on if that's what I end up doing. We'll see. Yeah, so besides that, that's where I am now. And this week's episode, I'm talking about my bucket list. So let's just get right into it, as I always say in every episode. So I started bucket list when I was 16, and I just needed some sort of like inspiration. I thought it was really cool that people were like, you know, doing a bucket list and stuff like that, and I only heard about it when I was a lot younger, and then I was like, I kind of want to do one. So I started making a bucket list and just putting pictures up of things I wanted to do and places I wanted to go and things I wanted to see. And it was so inspirational to me at the time. I didn't really understand or value these projects and these mini goals that I started creating for myself, and I didn't realize what I was doing until, 11 years later. I've done almost everything on my entire bucket list. I am so proud of myself for the work that I've put in to get to where I am today. Even these recordings, these videos that I'm doing now, I have wanted to do these for a really long time and haven't had the confidence to, and I say time, but like you always have time to do stuff. I just genuinely haven't had the confidence to create these videos until now. And so I'm really proud of myself that I'm putting myself out there and doing that. And today I'm going to share with you how that all started and how that manifested into what it is now. So essentially, I started a bucket list 11 years ago. I had no idea that even just the idea of putting stuff pen to paper or photo to paper would actually transpire into manifestation. I do believe in the power of the universe. For those of you who believe in God, or you don't believe in the universe, or whatever you believe, that's totally fine. This is just what's worked for me. This is what I believe and I've grown to see, is to have that faith in the universe. And I've genuinely seen it firsthand that it does absolutely work. So if this is not something you're interested in, don't continue watching. But if you are interested to hear how this all works, then please keep watching. So when I was about 19, 20 years old, I went on a vacation to Barbados after I finished high school. And this kind of started the ball rolling with my bucket list. I unintentionally planted this seed to go to Caribana at some point. It was one of the things I wanted to do. I met a friend from Barbados that I went to school with. She was like, hey, come with us. Come with me, come stay with me, come for carnival. And I did it. It was the most amazing experience of my life. Absolutely loved it. And it kind of just gave me this itch, this drive to like get going, get started on the things that I want to do. It created so much purpose for me and put the intention out there of what I wanted. So after that, I started to work, and working for me was just not giving me enough purpose. I was doing a 9-to-5 and it just wasn't giving me much to do, and it wasn't fulfilling me. So I changed that. I went back to school and just completely kind of slowly trying to change my mindset and my outlook on what I want in life. What do I really want? And slowly but surely, I just kind of started putting the intentions out there, the things that I wanted. Now, keep in mind, the things that were pushing me and driving me were followed up with daily words of affirmation and journaling and putting the intentions out there and putting myself in the environments that I needed to be in order to create those goals and work towards those things that I wanted. So one of my biggest things that first of all, let me explain to you, how I created these things that I wanted to do in life. So there's the experiences kind of goals. And then there's what do you want, and what are your long-term goals? What are things you want to achieve? And to be honest with you, I had no idea what I was really into or what I really liked, right? I wasn't super great in school, and all I knew is I love acting, I love being in front of the camera, I love singing. And so I was like, what else can I do in life? Because it's really important to understand that you can have multiple purposes in life. You don't have to have just one main goal. And that's just something that I've grown to understand and to love, that you can have multiple purposes in life, and that is okay. That is enough. I literally just started trying different things, new things every day. The painting thing, my biggest intention for you guys to understand at this moment is that if there is something that you truly want to do and you put it out there, you're most likely gonna like it. If you haven't tried something but you're kind of keen and leaning towards that thing, then it's most likely you will enjoy doing it. So I kind of just started trying different things and seeing things that I would maybe like, and those things I continued to pursue, and I call those things hobbies. Are they intentionally to try to get into that field as a job or try to morph it into something financially? Not necessarily, but definitely is something that I've thought about. So these things that really I just started trying morphed into goals and things that I started to pursue. And as I am doing this, I am working in school and putting money and saving it towards the stuff on my bucket list that I wanted to do. In my earlier 20s, I was really pushing intention to do something every year that was on my list. It was so important to me. I was like, life is so short that I need to at least do one thing once a year. Eventually, with COVID and everything that hit, I realized that that's not always possible. I realized that you can't control everything in life. I have always felt the need to control where I am in everything. And, with COVID and stuff, realized that can't always happen. So having, COVID hit and then everything kind of changed, put a lot of things into perspective for me. And it quickly made me realize that intentionally, you will manifest what you want regardless, because of what you're thinking you will put into the universe. It just may come at different times. I have this infectious way of thinking where I want to fulfill a lot of different areas in my life with different goals and different dreams that may not necessarily align with each other. And so a lot of people kind of tend to be like, well, you need to pick one thing and focus on that one thing. And maybe in the meantime that is true, but that is not how I feel. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling, but I genuinely do feel that I have fulfilled like 90% of what I wanted to do in this life already. Like, I am so eternally grateful. I have created new things on my list, but they're more specific and they're longer term goals, different stuff that with different intentions. My old bucket list is still there. There's still stuff on it that I want to do, but it's definitely changed since then. So that's kind of been my journey. I know I kind of just was probably rambling, but that's that part. So now I'm gonna get into essentially everything that I talked about, but into like just a condensed version of how you can do it yourself kind of thing based on what I just said. So bucket list, have a goal, have an intention. If you don't know what it is, you need to put yourself out there in different fields. You need to try different things and see what it is that you like. What are you naturally drawn to in order to create those opportunities and those windows of what you are looking for? That's super important. I wrote a list somewhere. Oh, it's here. Okay, I wrote a little shortened list so that I can make this kind of more condensed. I'm not an organized person whatsoever. As you can tell in my videos, I'm very disorganized. Probably why people aren't really attracted to them, but that's okay. So yes, figuring out what it is you want. What are your goals? Pictures. It's really important to be as descriptive as possible. Descriptive imagery is so important in order to start creating and manifesting what you want. The more specific, the better. When you're trying to create something into your reality, if you're very vague, the universe doesn't respond very well to that. So the more specific you are, just the better off you will be in terms of making that dream a reality. Da, da, da. Yeah, focusing on one thing at a time. Again, like, you know, that can be very daunting when you have a massive list, but just tackle one thing at a time, and maybe even it being more realistic in terms of like where you are geographically or where you are right now in your life, what makes the most sense on your list. Making it like a 5-10 year goal, 30-year goal, right? Being intentional with it and being consistent is really, really important with your list, right? So if you want to, like, let's say buy a car, and you know, maybe you're in the middle of school, just as an example, maybe not within the next year you'll have a car, but maybe in the next 5 years you could say you could have a car. Finish school, get a job, save for a car. These are realistic expectations and intentions you're putting out into the world of what you want. So that comes to my next point, my last point, which is super, super important, which I haven't learned until recently, is about having realistic expectations of these goals. So I'm not saying that you can't go to the moon and back. I'm not saying you can't, you know, travel around the world on a hot air balloon. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that if you're too particular with the way you want to control the things that do happen in life, it will never work out exactly as you want it. I know that's pretty like self-explanatory, and it seems pretty like, you know, just something like everyone just understands that. I get that. But when it does come to goals and dreams, people can get very emotionally involved with those, and it's really important to remember to just pull back and let the universe take over and let them do the work, or it, or whatever. And the things that you want will just come into place. They may not, again, look exactly how you want it, but if you are open and flexible to change and to openness of like just different things, then it will manifest in its own way. It will show up in its own form. Like I wanted to, for example, move to Lake Louise. I wanted to work at the Fairmont back when I was 19, so I applied, didn't get it. I applied again when I was 25, and I got in, and I also applied to a position in Whistler. I weighed my pros and cons, you know, and I was like, wow, but like, you know, I wrote this on my list. I want to go to Lake Louise, you know, put pictures. I was like, I need to do this. But then I was thinking, like, reading through the pros and cons and like the things that I needed. And I did not end up going to Lake Louise. I've actually never been to Lake Louise. I've been to Banff, but I haven't been there. And still on my places, like list of places I want to go to, but I did not go there. I ended up going to Whistler. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. So my point being is, if the universe sends you somewhere else where maybe it's not necessarily on your path, it does not mean that that's not meant to purpose you at all. It could literally be exactly what you need. Sometimes those little curves and those sidewalks are meant to steer you back right where you're supposed to be, like right on the main road. So yeah, that's that's basically what I would express as being the most important and valuable things you need to know while you're making a list and how to make it. And that's pretty much it. Like, if you guys have any questions or any insights about things that maybe things I don't know, like maybe there's stuff that you guys have tried that have genuinely worked for you. This is just the kind of thing that has worked for me, and I am so like grateful and genuinely happy to have built the experiences that I have. I have zero regret with everything that I've done. But yeah, that's essentially my list. I wrote it down below in the description, and it has worked for me. You know, if you don't, the other biggest thing is it will not work if you do not believe. You cannot do any of this without having true intention or selfish intention. If your intention is to do it for yourself without purposing other people, then you're doing it wrong. And because from my experience, from my life experiences, is that life is not about us, it's not about ourselves, it's about other people. And that has genuinely resonated to me. Especially when I've recently like traveled for the first time, half by myself, half with a friend. And yeah, so belief and having non-selfish intention while you're creating this list and while you're going through it. It won't happen unless you truly create and morph this reality for yourself. It will not happen. And it will not happen if you have selfish intent. If you have selfish intent, you'll never be fulfilled. Those are like two very important things for me. So yeah, anyways, that is essentially it for this episode. I hope you guys liked it. Please comment, please subscribe. I think, you know what? I actually suck at doing travel reviews. I suck. Like, I stutter all the time. I say all the time. You can tell I never did speech class. I think I said that in the other episode. But I can be a very like awkward, uncomfortable person because I'm still not fully comfortable in front of the camera, even though I love being in a camera when I was a kid. But yeah, I'm like, you know, let me know what you want for content. If you don't, I'm just gonna keep posting stuff because once I start something, I have to finish it. I have to do it. So I'm gonna just keep posting regardless. But if you can let me know what you like, that will kind of help. But I might just steer out of the travel vlog experience shit because I'm just like, it's just not, it doesn't fulfill me, and I don't get anything out of it myself personally. So yeah, I more so enjoy doing stuff where like I feel like I can actually get through to people, or maybe something that I say can like move someone. So that's kind of what I'm hoping with this episode and episodes moving forward, is that if I can create content that might resonate with someone a bit differently, then I'm happy. That's my goal. Then I just feel full. So yeah, please like, subscribe, comment. I'm so happy to be back. And you know, it might be a while because once I start school, I am back full time. I only have this space to myself right now for a couple days. My sister's away. So that's why I'm making videos now. And that's pretty much it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, see you next time. Take care. Bye.